Hello and happy Saturday. I am Michael Diamond. I'm your storyteller, game master du jour this afternoon. My pronouns are he, him, and I want to welcome you all back to Children of the Periphery here on the Old Ways. So I know we've got some viewers in chat, and I see folks some of our folks are certainly festive for you. So thank you very much for being festive. And I think what we'll do is just get into this. And before we get started, I want to thank you, the watcher, and especially those of you who support us on Patreon. Our Patreon backers are super important to what we do moving forward, and not in just 2025, but of course in 2026. They're helping power many of our campaigns and making sure that we can bring you the shows that you're interested in. So if you're interested in joining us over there, you can. And that's at patreon.com/the old ways podcast. And so now I will get out of all of our players' way and let them introduce themselves. To my right.
Hi, this is Morgan, and I am playing Captain Kasra. And she is a brash explorer that learns mostly quickly. And yeah, so you should just oh, by the way, I haven't had enough caffeine today. Or too much.
Either way.
My pronouns are she, her, and you should make it your New Year's resolution to stop on by our Discord and say hey to everybody. Or me, whatever. So that's it. That's all I got.
Awesome. And next to Captain R.
Hi, this is Mav. I play Tamarisk and Vari. Her pronouns are they, them. Tamarisk is an empathic speaker who commands mental powers, and we made a new friend last time.
You did. You did, in fact, make a new friend. They made quite the impression on you, so to speak. Next to Tamarisk.
Hi, I'm Skip. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Quinn Keller, a lucky warrior who pilots a starcraft. And as we found out last time, I am definitely not the strongest in the group.
No, we did find that out. That's very true. But you're probably a fair pilot amongst all of them. So you got that going for you at the very least, right? Mm-hmm. And last, most certainly not least.
Hey everyone, I'm Lecco. Today I'll be playing Sergeant Montgomery Donald Ducky Sinclair, a mechanical strong legionnaire specialist who fuses flesh and steel. And today we're going to catch a ride.
Mm-hmm. Indeed you are. So to bring folks back into the groove of things with our story, when we last left the crew of the Periphery, they had landed on an immense jungle planet, 2 to 3 times the size of Earth. And they had managed to sort of find a soft-ish landing spot near a bit of a river and some jungle overgrowth. To say that the planet itself is densely packed with vegetation is an understatement. Some of the trees and some of the vines of this planet are so thick that they completely obscure regular sunlight when you're too close to the edge of these vegetated spaces. The jungle density also goes up, and so it doesn't really lose its oomph, so to speak, when going vertical. And so it makes for a very difficult to get a good read on many of the things that are on the surface because the sensors of the ship can't read the surface. But they've managed to find a place to set down. And now the crew is going to begin going through the process of investigating to see if Thilar is the place that humanity can come to. So we'll pick up essentially inside the ship as the crew are getting ready for that next portion of their voyage.
Oh my gosh, what happened to Lecco? No, I'm just kidding.
Taken by aliens.
Oh my God, he was abducted already on the planet. I knew it. We were going to scavengers rain this bad boy.
You bet.
All right, so, yeah, I thought did we check the air quality and stuff last time? We're going to still need our biohazard?
Yeah, so the air quality has been checked. You will likely need some type of rebreather just because the sensors can only really pick up so much of what might be in the atmosphere. And the concern being is if there is something planet side that the sensors haven't picked up, you wouldn't want to put that directly into your lungs.
All right, so I'll make sure and let the crew know to bring their rebreather with, which they probably already do because they are experienced at this all sorts of awesomeness.
I mean, realistically speaking, if you really want to kind of cut right down to it, the Sargant and Quinn have only been on 3 planets ever. The one you came from, and Earth, and now this one. They're not nearly as well traveled as you are because they were both meat popsicles for many hundreds of years.
All right, well then they're little itty bitty babies that don't know anything, so I let them know to bring their rebreathers on this trip.
I mean, Captain, you're the most experienced space navigating human creature in this galaxy.
Gotta be the top somewhere. Might as well be here where I don't know where I am.
Right. Bingo.
All right, I on the communication line I put something out there. ETA until everybody's ready.
Ready when you are, Captain.
I've already disembarked.
Yeah, you took Ghost out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Got
Oh,
my
so you
bag,
really
I'm ready.
did disappear. Sorry, Quinn, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I got my bag. I'm ready. You just told me to put my breather on, so I did that. Do I do it now or do I not go out?
Do it before you leave.
Okay. Make sure I got it right.
Okay. You put it on. Recon visualizes by you, Tamarisk, and says, "Good luck."
We're going to need it.
Mm-hmm. You will. I did notice something about the ship's under armor. I think the sensors are picking up some of the maybe pollen, maybe some of the other things in the atmosphere of the planet here. We need to be mindful of how long the ship is here, I think.
Got an idea of how long?
I don't. Not the foggiest idea. But you will be able to check it out when you get underside because, of course, I can't exist outside of the ship without some really interesting techno wizardry.
We don't have Fido here to help us with that anymore, so all right. I'll have a look and we'll tell you what we see.
Great. Good luck.
Thanks for calling.
So, Sergeant, you're gonna put the breather on or suit on up, and then hit the cargo bay, and then.
Yeah, I had gotten my suit on, my my visitor's outfit, and made sure I was all geared up, and then I had deployed the new toy. Was very surprised by the fact that it has no wheels, but that'll make it better for the terrain, and we'll see how it handles. And I had jacked in and was letting it help me figure out how it works.
Yeah, it's to say that this is futuristic is an understatement. It doesn't even feel real. The connection is so good. It's really high powered. All the data back and forth between you and it is super clean. You're getting less than 0.2 variance in the signal differences between your Jack and Ghost.
Wow. This is amazing. I love this thing.
Super responsive. The controls themselves can be done in 2 ways. Either you have an actual yoke that you can use to move back and forth, or you do have basically digital pad controls if you need to have your hands off of it. When you're jacked into it, you don't need either.
I think Ducky is he enjoys the physicality of the bike posture, so he will likely straddle it appropriately. But if he needs to stand upright to scout or whatever, because I don't lose visual, right? Like I can see the world around me while I'm wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are there sensors on this thing?
There are sensors on it. Functionally speaking, though, like when you're jacked into it, you are hindered on all like basically perception rolls that you would need to make
Sure.
with your own eyes, because
Okay.
part of your brain is segmented. Think of it like being rigged in.
Sure. Yeah, I got it. All right. So yeah, I will. I'll trust. In order to evaluate, I'm gonna have to trust it. So I'll just close my eyes, or I'll close my. I'll close my blast shield. There you go.
Okay. You close the blast shield. You act on instinct. It maybe is a little touch and go at first. The bike moves, and part of you sort of wobbles underneath it, and you have to reach out and sort of grab onto the handle to get a better feeling of security. But then you sort of sway back and forth and can get the feeling of it. You realize that the engine inside of this thing is very powerful, and it can probably go maybe 10 or 15 meters in elevation. Like it can actually get off the ground pretty high.
So I think using the sensors, I'll see how much of a course I can plot out to scout in the immediate area. Because like we came in. Was it like an alcove that we did, or some sort of not a cave? It was like
It's a bay. It's a
bay.
little bay that Quinn put you down in.
All right, so I will exit the bay. Can this thing traverse over water?
It does.
Ooh, this thing beats Marty McFly's hoverboard. Easy. All right, cool. All right, so I will take off over the water and then take like basically a clockwise or counterclockwise kind of loop around the area just to see what is around.
Okay, we'll have you scouting around. Quinn, what's your plan when you heading out with the captain and Tamarisk then?
Yes, I'll be kind of their guard / backup / whatever I'm needed to do.
Okay. Captain Rakam checks in with you like as you step off the ramp of the ship, and you sort of see the dense jungle. The grasses here are probably, I'd say, about half a meter to a meter high. They're reasonably tall, but the landing gear of the ship is easily seen underneath them. And Rakam says, remember, top 5 priorities here are securing water and testing the air. We have to establish what energy sources are available. Obviously, the sun that's overhead would be usable for solar energy, but we need to know if there's any potential when it comes to perhaps geothermal or maybe hydroelectric. And then we have to scout out a place to see if they can put down some sort of shelter and infrastructure when they get here. Other than that, the other 2 are, well, minor in comparison.
So that was only 4, Rakam. What was number 5?
Rakam sort of pauses. We have to make sure that we can create a sustainable food system. We're going to have to make sure that humans can be on top. If there are predators here that would hunt us and we can't deal with them, the planet's not going to work.
Understood. Water, air, energy, shelter, food sources.
Yep.
Number 1 on the food chain. Humans. Right?
If possible.
Okay. We'll see what we can do. All right. You got keep us tagged, please. So you know where we are.
Of course. Happy to do so, Captain.
Thanks, Cram. Don't let anybody on the ship that you don't know.
Of course not. Why would I let anyone on the ship?
I don't
Oh,
know, maybe we can shapeshift.
There is one matter. Our guest
Uh-oh.
needs to leave.
Guess. Oh.
Yes. the gas, the pollen, all of it. It needs to go.
I know, but quick question: is this the planet that they came from?
You have no idea.
Oh, I didn't know how close it was to the whole breakup of everything.
You think that it's possible that the moon that this species was once on orbited this planet? You think that that's very likely, but you don't know that for a fact.
Okay. Do we know what kind of effect that the creature will have on a planet like this?
No.
Do we want to just randomly let something go into in an ecosystem that we're looking to habitate? Habit. Yep.
Inhabit, yes.
Inhabit, yeah.
You don't want to damage the ecosphere or whatever that technology term is.
Well,
We have to let it out.
Tamarisk is right. It can't stay on the ship.
No, I understand, but I'm trying to take in the. How about we see if the planet's inhabitable for our people. See where that is located, and then take the creature to the opposite side of the planet.
Drop an alien life form that's really, really good at manipulating humans on a planet we're hoping to populate with humans.
I know.
It sounds like a great idea.
I
love this plan.
I don't disagree with you.
Recon just sort of stands there.
All right, we'll circle back to this later. Let's go look at the planet. And that was Captain's way of saying she doesn't want to talk about that right now. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Okay. You move off. Where are you going first?
How close are we to the water?
Reasonably close. Quinn put you down reasonably close to the water, probably within, I'd say, 30 meters.
We should collect some samples of the water while we're over here.
Yeah, I tried to get us in a place where we can collect a lot of samples right around the ship so we didn't have to go too far.
Mm-hmm.
While doing that, I'll go get some plant samples and look at make sure that the ship is landed right. Nothing crawling up it.
Okay. So Quinn, you inspect the ship, and then you two are going to go get water and plant samples. So the water testing kit that you have is actually reasonably quick, Tamarisk. It's a third horizon testing kit, and it was not uncommon to have to test the water there pretty regularly. That being said, it's still an intellect roll to use it.
Okay.
I'd say water testing is probably difficulty 2.
Okay. 17.
Okay. Yeah. Collecting the water and getting into the sample kit without basically mucking it up is not hard. And let's see here. You are pleasantly surprised when the test kit returns in about 5 minutes that the water is likely within parameters for humans to drink.
Well, we can drink it, Captain. There's plenty of it.
Well, we'll have to come back and fill up some containers for us as well.
Yeah, it probably would benefit from longer testing as well, but like the initial sample kit says there's nothing horrid in the water that you can't drink, at least from this specific spot.
Specific spot. Very specific there, Mike.
I'm just trying to be clear.
I'll collect some to take back for a longer sample on the ship and have a look around. Okay.
Yeah, the bay is nice. It's sort of pleasant. The chop of the water is not very loud or heavy. You get a slight breeze that comes in from the body of water. There are some long pink reeds that dot the shoreline, some type of vegetation. And there seems to be perhaps some sort of aquatic life that mills about in the water. You can tell. They probably look like long, we'll say long gray and green aquatic life. I would say in the shape of a fish, although you can't really tell.
Well, it's certainly full of life around here. That's a good sign.
Overhead, the ship is, I guess, blessed, in a way to say it, by a flight of what look like feathered aliens. They're large. They're way larger than you were expecting. They're probably 3 to 4 meters wide at wingspan. And there's at least a group of 6 of them. They fly overhead gracefully, quietly. They don't make any sorts of chirps or calls or anything like that, but they grace the view for a moment as they go from tree to tree, eventually landing on a series of far branches. So, Sergeant, you're busy scouting.
Yeah, I'll be piping all the, I guess you could say the terrain data to the ship to the best of my ability, depending on how. You said that the Ghost has a better transmitter than I have anyway, so I will be basically relaying all of the like geographical data and any information pick up that specifically looking for critters.
Critters.
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks to resub. Appreciate it, Network Novija. So yeah, you find a few things. Actually a lot of things. And the data starts coming in, and what Rakam is going to do is he's essentially going to start building a wireframe map of the space based on terrain to help everybody to get like a picture of, say, the greater local space. As you move along the water and then eventually probably up onto land, just because the water does eventually, it sort of goes out of your semicircle or your the curve that you're running. You end up on land, and you end up on sort of a slow rising hill that leads to some more jungle. And you realize that this bay that you've landed on is sort of dotted with patches of open land that butt right up against really dense vegetation. The trees here are too tall for you to sort of fly over.
Yeah.
But you could certainly elevate Ghost enough to try to make your way into that thicker forest without having to deal with the ground vegetation.
Like over the brush, but under the canopy.
Yeah, you bet.
That doesn't sound dangerous at all.
No, not at all. Perfectly fine.
I'll make sure before I go, pardon me. Before I go venturing in, I'm going to make sure I do like a full kind of loop to get a reasonable amount of distance around where we're docked, to make sure that I can cover that area, and so that the crew has a reasonable confidence in like the level of safety in the immediate area, and that they can kind of go in whatever direction they want to go. And if I indicate like this is blocked, I can't see any of this, the fog of war is here, on any area that I definitely can't see or sensor into. And once I have once I have the loop done, I'll relay back to the captain. So I guess just let me know when I'm done and what I'm seeing.
Yeah, so most of that loop, unless you're going to go into the denser part of the jungle here, is going to be back over water, just because that's just sort of the place that you were sat down at.
Can we get depth? Are the sensors able to penetrate down into the depth too?
Yeah, you get a little bit of depth on the bay itself. The bay is, at least at the places that you're able to scan, it's well over like 90 meters deep.
So the water gets really deep.
It gets really deep really fast. Yep.
Okay, I relay all that as well. So there's an abyss next to the ship, which is great.
You go ahead and give me a perception-based roll. You can use the sensors on Ghost as an asset if you'd like.
I would. That's a 4.
Okay. You get a blip on your on the screen, like moments before something emerges out of the water. Something
go.
big. You see a flat-bodied and flat-headed amphibian that pokes its way out of the water. It does, and it sort of pushes aside disperses a lot of the water when it comes out. It's got a long, angular mouth that is sort of slightly open, maybe, I don't know, just enough to sort of display rows of not sharp teeth, but teeth. And it's got 2 sets of eyes down the side of its face. One big set and one smaller set.
Contact might be amphibious. I will get away from the water.
Okay. You sort of head back towards the ship.
Well, I don't think it can fly. So the first thing I do is I get away from it up.
Okay.
And I make sure I relay the visual of its entirety. Like I want to try to get the bulk of it on both sensors and visual, relay that back to the ship as I reverse, kind of bound away from it.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's a big one.
Yeah, it's definitely larger than you were expecting. So it's probably like in totality, it's probably between maybe 5 to 6 meter long.
I mean, I was expecting pretty big creatures with all the giant plants and all the sunlight, but yeah, this is pretty. All right, so dinosaurs, awesome.
Yep. Seemingly.
Captain, getting this?
Yep, I see it.
It doesn't.
Do I see it?
Yeah, you do. It doesn't. It doesn't appear aggressive. It doesn't like fly up to snap at you. It does. You get tracked. You watch its eyes track you in the air. But either because you're too far away from it, or because it's disinterested, it doesn't make a snapping motion towards you. You're not sure. You notice that its mouth is filled with little bits of what you can only assume is sort of seaweed material or other type of maybe plankton that sort of wriggle in and out of its teeth, and it slowly submerges back under the water. And then I'm going to have you make a speed defense roll.
Okay. What was the most of one? That's 19.
Oh. You scoot with Ghost out of the space as a wave of water comes up, kicked from this thing's massive tail, and nearly douses you.
Okay. I was not, I didn't realize surfing was going to be part of the navigational requirements, but I'm happy to oblige. I continue trying to move away. I will full throttle this thing. We're gonna see how fast Ghost can move across this water.
Very fast. So the across water, it probably gets up to, if you're trying to max it, Ghost probably gets up to over water about 100 or so kph.
Nice.
You can do 60 or 70 miles an hour on Ghost easy. You can't max it because you run out of space.
All right, I get back to the land, and then kind of hit the brakes and head back toward the ship-ish, like the basically the ship area.
Yeah.
So, Captain, it looks like without going deeper into the jungle, this is pretty much all we're going to get. So I'm heading back. Ghost can probably make it, but if we're going to be traveling, I assume that we're going on foot. Unless you have a reason to bring it with us.
Nope, that makes sense. Yeah, so you're going back to the ship. That sounds good. And Michael, can I grab? Am I able to I guess I don't know what I brought with me in my pack. wondering if I could grab some of the fish out of the water to take back and test for, possibility of food sources.
You gonna fish?
I'm gonna fish.
Okay.
It's gonna be like being in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's probably more like Minecraft, but sure.
Okay.
Just a question for you, Mike. You said when I found Ghost was kind of packed into this box.
Yep.
So does Ghost have like a storage mode?
Oh, sort of. Yeah.
How small does it get?
It doesn't actually get small. Some of the things like underneath of it retract. It doesn't break down. It can't get into it can't shrink itself. It doesn't compress.
Sure. How big is it? Like, I'm trying to remember I try to imagine how big is it like as big as a Harley?
Yeah, I'd say it's roughly as big as a motorcycle, like a full-sized motorcycle. Yeah.
Okay.
Am I noticing anything along the ground around the ship? I'm probably getting soil samples while I'm walking through there too.
You are. Yeah, underneath the ship, you notice that there's a fine sort of maybe yellowy and pink pigment that's been left by some of the grass that's here on the underside of the ship.
I'll definitely get a sample of that.
Okay.
And if there's any plants like around there too, I'll cut off a little bit and whatever procedure is on that.
Got to get soil samples, got to get plant samples. You find some evidence that there are mammals or reptiles in this space based on droppings that are here.
I'll collect some of those as well and make sure that if there's any beady little eyes on us while we're doing all this from the ground, at least. We know there are from the air and now in the water, but not from the land.
Okay. Yeah, you can give me a perception-based roll to see if you can hunt anything up.
Okay. 16.
So just scanning the line where the jungle really gets dense, you can tell that there are probably a few different sets of eyes on you there. They're probably much lower to the ground than anything you'd be worried about from like a human or a mammal, but there are probably lizards or birds that have been sort of pushed back by your initial landing and then now are somewhat interested in what you are.
But nothing being overly aggressive or territorial that I could tell.
No, nothing.
Okay, good. I'll slowly make my way back to the ship then after that.
You make your way back to the ship. You collected your samples, and so what I want to know is who is doing the sciencing inside.
Was I able to successfully grab some fish?
You got to make a fishing test. What are you using? You can just use your hands?
Yeah, because I don't think I brought anything with me to
Nope.
Use the cricket.
fish. Oh, I could use that. Let's not and say we did. That would call probably some friends over.
Found this fried fish.
All right, so it'd be a speed test?
It would be a speed test, absolutely.
Amazing.
Are you trained in fishing?
I am not trained in... I'm trained in philosophy, which isn't going to help.
You sit on the side of the bay and you begin...
I fish, therefore I am.
Right.
Yeah.
To fish or not to fish.
All right, so
I'm going to say...
Great mental image of Captain Amara in her coat.
Right.
Karate chopping fish in the water.
I'm going to say that you're hindered at this task because you don't have a tool.
What if I use there's your problem?
Explain to me how you'd use it.
Well, I'm trained in tasks related to figuring out how to solve problems with multiple solutions. So there may be multiple solutions for fishing. Well, there is. I could grab it with my hands. I could shoot it. I could stomp on it with my feet. I could.
I also love the idea of you going up to the water, trying to fish, just taking out the Vulcan cannon and just shooting the water, seeing what comes up.
All right, I'm going to catch it with my hands.
All right, go for it.
And I'm hindered?
You are hindered.
All right, okay, I'll spend I'll spend a level of effort.
Okay.
So it'll be 3 points of speed. It'll take it down to whatever it is. All right, here we go. I'm leaning over the water and my rebreather is fogging up because we hadn't checked the air yet. So here
I'm waiting for that botch. Just give it to me.
Ooh, I get an 8.
Ooh. How hard would this be? You spent a level of effort. I'll say with your level of effort, it takes you a few minutes, but you eventually reach into the water and grab hold of something and pull it out. When you pull it out, you pull out what you think is a fish, question mark. It has fins and it has a mouth and it has 2 really long whiskers on each side of its face. And it sort of flops back and forth at you. And you have to do something with it. So it's either going to go on the ground or you're going to like hug it to your chest or whatever you're going to do with it. But its big sort of spongy, big lipped mouth sort of makes a motion at you a couple of times.
Oh,
This is what I get to come back to. This is amazing.
100%.
yeah. Well, hopefully it doesn't try to talk to Tamarisk.
I mean, they are rather easy to talk to. So,
So I'll shove it in my bag that I brought with me. I'm going to have to
Okay.
clean those tools.
oh,
Say skid to a stop. Hey, Captain, that definitely looks like not complicating indigenous life forms. Is that an approved mechanism for extraction?
there is a paff sound from the bag, and the bag is immediately discolored on the outside by something purple.
Well, all right. I'm going to need a new bag.
Oh.
Do you want to take this back?
Want is a very strong word.
I laugh when I start walking back with the bag like this.
Okay.
It looks like everybody else forgot, so I will get air samples. I didn't know if anybody got those or not.
It was talked about. You gather a bunch of samples, Quinn. You're not by chance wearing a red uniform, are you? Just I want to make sure.
No, no, not today.
Okay. So you get soil and plant and air samples and head back to the ship.
A bag of fish.
The captain gets a slightly dirty bag of fish, and there's some things now we can investigate.
You had mentioned there'd been mention of a pad that can be used to pilot Ghost. Is it remote?
No, meaning that like you could actually not have your hands on the yoke controls itself, and you could touch the pad and move it back and forth.
Okay. Well, if we're back on the ship and we're doing investigating of things and we're sciencing hard, I feel like since Ghost is probably our best bet for any sort of remote sensor suite, I will spend a little bit of time in engineering, and I'm going to attempt to retrofit a remote console to work as some sort of interface for Ghost to see if maybe I can rig a basically remote control so that I can pilot Ghost remotely, even if only rudimentarily. But if I can control it, right, essentially I'm trying to build like a remote control deck for myself. If I have to jack into it, that's fine. But I want to be able to work with it from the ground and yet and still have Ghost like nearby piloting without having to like, I don't have to walk the bike, you know what I'm saying? I would rather have it rolling around on its own. Since it can avoid foliage and whatnot. So I'm gonna give it a shot.
Okay.
I have time.
Nope. Definitely will have definitely be a role, and then definitely have to invest some time into that sort of thing.
Okay.
Okay. So who is doing the sciencing? As far
I
as
am.
Awesome.
And I frequently do sciencey things with recon. So
Okay. Please science for us, and then tell me what you're sciencing.
think I'd get the longer study of the water going in the background because it's going to take longer, and then check the air because that's the most important thing. If we can't breathe the air, then we can't bring everybody here.
Mm-hmm.
So air first, and then we can check soil and plant life and all that. But need to make sure we can breathe. Okay, that is a 16.
Okay. So there is definitely something here in the atmosphere that the computer can't parse what it is. But in basis, I would say that you are within reasonable parameters to breathe. There's nothing volatile in the atmosphere that is red flagging by the computer.
So I think we could go out without our rebreathers on, or?
You think you could. Your only concern is like, what is this particulate that the system doesn't understand what it is?
Yeah. So I'll pass that information on to the captain. I think we probably want to keep our rebreathers on until we can figure out what this thing is, this particulate in the air, just in case it's virus or something.
Does it happen to have the same properties as the pollen from our friend?
You could always use the pollen as a cross-reference. It's not like there isn't enough pollen.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Okay. So working with a cross-reference, you find that the particulate, the pollen, and this unknown portion have some basis, but maybe are not completely similar.
Oh, good idea, Quinn. They've got some kind of similarity, but they're not the same thing. But there is some connection there.
I'm just worried that stuff might make us loopy out there. We just, we kind of got loopy in here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My chest still hurts.
I make it a point to include in my notes, my scouting notes, basically, that we should probably consider the ramifications of what that potentially exploding moon's effect could have long term on this planet, whether it is radiation or invasion or any number of other things that are on the half of the planet that we haven't even become aware of yet. If we were going to bring people here, it's just a huge unknown that could be like, I don't know, a nuclear crater waiting to happen or a volcano of doom.
I mean, or it could be something amazing. It doesn't always have to be bad.
The amazing things are bad too. People are never good about this stuff.
Okay. Fair enough. So, Sergeant, I'm going to say that role to integrate some sort of basic remote control deck is probably a 5.
Okay. So I'm trained in crafting machines.
Yeah. I will say that you are working with a level of technology that is slightly more advanced.
Cool.
So I would just say that the complication range for this is going to be doubled.
Okay. So I am trained, and again, I can, with interface, I can identify and learn to operate devices as if they were one level lower. So it's a bit easier, but should I also spend for effort? Is that, I don't know if you said doubled, I don't know what applications mean.
So basically what it means is that what I'm doing is saying that a 1 on the die is not just a 1, right? So like it's now a 1 and 2 that are your problematic range.
Okay. And I will also take advantage of my intelligence power shift, which will ease it 1 step.
Okay.
So there should be 3, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's reroll that. All right, 16.
Okay. You get an ETA on it. It's probably going to take you about 40 hours worth of work.
Okay.
just because of the complexity of the way Ghost operates.
Sure.
And the fine-tuned nature of Ghost's controls. It's not as simple as just put a radio transmitter here and put a radio receiver here. It is way more complex than that.
Sure. How much time does it take to just build out the plans then?
I mean, I think it's probably a good 8 hours of planning, and then it's probably 30 plus to actually engineer it to happen.
Okay. Then I will scope it out and leave it on my deck for future reference. I don't know how long they're going to take in the lab. But once we start getting information from all the sciencing, I will return to the captain.
Okay. You return to the captain.
I'm in the lab with my fish.
You're also nearby the moth friend if they're in the lab, because that's where the moth is.
That's fine. I have my rebreather on.
It's like it's there in an enclosed space, like looking.
Oh, okay. It's staring.
Yes.
I look at it and food for us. So, trying to do the universal sign for food.
Yes.
Right. And that's why Tamarisk is the diplomat.
Right. And you are not. Yes, we know.
And I am not. Yes.
So did that thing ink your bag?
I don't know. So, I throw it on there and throw it on the. Do we have a scanner?
Sure. You have a bed. Remember, like the scanner, quote unquote, is really the med bed when people need to science things. So you like put like a tray where you would normally put your butt when you're on the med bed, and then you use all of the sciencey tools on it. Right. There isn't like some separate, astrophysics department here on the periphery. It's literally one room, and the tools normally focus on humans, but sometimes they focus on objects.
Go
Yeah.
dump the captain's bag and the rest of the stuff that got trashed in the sink.
Slurp.
Ugh.
Are you wearing rubber gloves? Hopefully.
I'm still wearing my outfit. I'm not
okay.
taking this thing off. I have my work gloves on. I have my mask on. We're good. What is this stuff?
If you really had to best guess, it is excrement that it sort of just lets go. This is likely a panic or a trauma response from this life form, and so it likely expelled it all because it was trying to get away.
Right. Definitely lightened its load.
It's tacky too. Like it's,
I will test cleaning agents until I find something that works.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to. It's honestly, the cleanup is not too bad. You're able to get you'd call it a fish, I guess, clean enough. And it's a reasonably healthy size, you think. It's probably anywhere between 20 to maybe 26 inches long from head to tail.
I think Ducky was cleaning the bag. Are you cleaning the bag or the
I was
fish?
cleaning the
Ducky?
bag and the tools.
Okay.
I'm not touching your
You're
specimen.
gonna touch my fish.
Yeah, the tools themselves though do take some fine-tuned cleaning, because some of your tools like have caps and some of them don't. And so like you got to get in there with like the brushes to really get this stuff out. The best of times. For your specimen, Captain.
Yes, I slap it on a metal tray and put it on the scanner. Are you done playing around with fish poo?
We get all these. All these, we start working.
Okay. Well, that's not gonna. You don't have to. Okay. Yep.
We know if this stuff's corrosive. You're gonna just buy more tools at the tool shed down the road?
No.
You're gonna go to engineering and ask them to be built? No, we're gonna clean them to make sure that I don't have to replace these.
You're right.
No, we're gonna use that. We're gonna use the non-existent replicator that people keep referencing.
I'm gonna build
I was just
one.
thinking about that.
I bet you were.
Yeah, so I'll ask for Com to scan the fish for any poisons or anything, things that might be too much mercury, stuff like that.
Okay. Actually, Rakam reports that based on some of his analysis is just based on what he sees on the scanners. He doesn't see too much of any corrosive materials. He said, I don't see anything here that would lead me to believe there's been any sort of mercury or advanced industrial pollutants here. Although we do have to respect that we're going to be ingesting whatever it ingested.
Yeah, it's all this stuff.
So you might pee purple. I don't know.
I will.
Sure, we
want
can
to provide the
fillet it
captain
open.
with all the schlorp that I have. Here's what it ate.
Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah. Anything's better to the stuff that cube stuff we've been eating for the last like 4 months.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, I'm gonna take this to the galley.
Okay, you take
Gonna
it.
fillet it.
Oh yeah, she's gonna do it up right here.
I'm gonna clean the fish in the.
Okay. So I would not normally belabor this point, but I'm absolutely going to ask you to make some sort of cooking roll.
Oh my goodness!
I love
Just
it.
going straight to eating
Yeah.
the indigenous life.
Well, somebody's got to taste test it. You want to bring everybody here and be like, here, this is a great planet. And then they turn into monsters after they eat the fish.
I think it's great we started with eating. I mean, I have to bear witness to this. I'm just going to watch. I have to just watch.
I'm going to use my intellect. I'll use a point of effort.
Mm-hmm.
I have an edge in intellect, so shockingly, maybe not in real life, but in this game, I sure do. And
I guess everything's better with butter sauce.
I don't even think we have any butter. Have we
Sure don't
found something to milk?
I mean, just milk the fuck out of this fish. Got caviar all over the inside of your bag.
What you got there, Morgan?
I got a 16.
Okay. You begin the work of filleting this fish, or suppose it's a fish, maybe. The fillets are actually size-wise reasonably large based on what you're cut. You cut away pretty well. It's like you've probably done this before. Sergeant, if you're paying attention to this at all, Captain seems to have some understanding of how to prepare fish. It looks like she's either maybe worked as a cook at one point or just knows what she's doing. That being said, the inside of this creature is not normal. All of its interior, like skeletal structure, is tinted purple.
Sure you want to eat that?
Yeah, did you never eat fish back on Earth?
Maybe, but that's not a fish. Whatever the hell that is. It's some sort of waterborne life form for sure. But that doesn't look like any fish I've ever seen. Other than the fact that it's able to move in water. I got really, really mad when you pulled it out.
Right, but the people that are, if we relocate people here, we still need to figure out what's edible.
Sure.
What's
well, while you're
not.
cooking, I'll take all the clean the bits that she left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and get your sizzle on, and I'm gonna take these back to the lab.
Awesome. Okay.
Where I would not be eating them.
I love the idea of you cooking this up because we're going to get to do some fun things when you cook it. But what we're going to do is we're going to do that after a quick break. So the team and I are going to go take 5, and then we're going to come back and we'll see how the captain's fillet of fish goes. So thanks, and stick with us. Alrighty. We are back. But still in the periphery here on the old ways. Thanks for sticking with us, and thanks for those of you who are joining us for we'll say a little bit of good old frontier work here on this new planet. A little exploration on this new planet. The captain has found and prepared a fish, and that's just part of the adventure so far today. We're testing the water and the air and the soil. So for you, Tamarisk and Quinn, the soil samples come back pretty well positive, actually. This soil here is very, very rich in nutrients and could easily be made into useful arable farmland. It is probably within the 98th percentile of arability based on the water and the soil type and nutrients, nitrates, etc., that are available here. This would make for a good spot to start a farm. So that is a very, very pleasant piece of knowledge. What is not so pleasant is the smell now coming from the galley. Captain, the fish that you are cooking, because of course you would have to do some sort of frying to cook this fish. You're kind of like that coworker who brings in fish and uses the microwave to heat it back up, right? And the trouble here is that because everything on the ship is like prepared in specific quantities and pre-packaged, the cooking of food sort of has a strange effect on all of you. Because really all you do is take out prepackaged food, warm it up, and eat it, right? But the actual cooking and the preparation of protein does something to your brains. You can hear it, Quinn. You can hear like the sizzle of meat.
I'll come out of the lab and poke my head into the galley.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, what are you doing?
Well, right now I'm cooking what appears to be a fish, so we can try it if you'd like. It just want to ensure that the food sources here are amenable and not deadly, or might not cause a ton of gastric upset. I don't know. It just seemed a better option than the regular tofu type fake stuff that we've been eating. I think tofu's Shadowrun. But here, it can be tofu here too.
Yeah, we have tofu currently.
Do you do this on every planet? You fish and you cook something?
Actually, we probably should. I think that's a great idea.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it has to be fish, but it could be something. Bird, a small furry mammal. I don't know. And I go back to humming in front of the stove or whatever we're gonna. I don't know if it's still called a stove in the Third Horizon or a.
Yeah, sure.
Stove, okay.
Cooker, etc.
Yeah. Swaying and humming.
Remind me. What's that, recon? Okay, I'm coming. I'll step out.
I didn't hear. Okay. You're missing out, Quinn.
Tamarisk, why don't you give me a intellect roll? Intellect defense, if you would.
Oh, great. The thing I'm hindered at. Oh, that's a 4.
You get a really piercing, it feels like somebody shoves an ice pick into your skull for a second. And you feel fear, concern, fear, flight responses. You hear something call for help.
Not coming from the moth, is it?
It is coming from the moth.
Recons, damn it. Captain, what are you doing?
What? I'm just cooking.
Can I get any like impressions or anything about what the moth might be afraid of or scared of? Like, what is causing this reaction?
Well, yeah, I think that is also an intellect roll, though not a defense roll, but just more of an investigatory. You could use a science skill if you have one.
The trained in tasks involve sensing emotions, discerning dispositions, etc.
That'll work.
Okay, so that'll ease it. I got a 12.
Okay. Yeah. You think that the cooking, the smell of cooked meat is upsetting this thing?
Try to like make a calming sense, and then go to the galley. Captain, you're freaking out the moth.
Oh, no. I told our friend that I was like, I pointed at our fish, our new, can you hear me jangling? Aha. I pointed at our little fish friend and I went, so he knew what it was for.
I don't think it understood you, Captain, because it doesn't eat the same way we do, so it wouldn't make the same gestures, which means it wouldn't translate.
And it doesn't have our hands and fingers. Yeah, no, I see where I might have gone wrong on this. Can you go explain to our moth friend that we're not going to eat them?
I don't know if that's what it's afraid of, but I can try. But we also need to get it off the ship.
All right. Well, while I'm working to ensure the future of our race, that's such a terrible fucking line. All right. I'm done. Well, I'm working to ensure that this fish is edible for our people if we need to resettle here. Can you work on getting our moth friend to somewhere safe?
Okay.
God, watching too much Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong with the inside of this fish?
Actually, you don't think there's anything wrong with it. After careful dissection and analyzing, what you think it is it's probably the fact that this fish mostly interacts with plant life and food that sits on the bottom of the bay.
Just kind of natural dye down there. Okay. And much like we'll say shrimp veins, is this stuff edible? Like, is it toxic?
It does not appear to be toxic.
Okay.
Like nothing comes up and shows that it's specifically toxic.
So if these things are reasonably cleaned, there's probably a certain amount of tolerance the human body might have for whatever is in this waste product, perhaps.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
It might turn your, turn your bowels purple, but
yeah. Well, sometimes you got to have some great drink.
Right. Right.
I will return to the galley. I just kind of witness the rest of whatever the galley's doing.
Probably eating fish.
Are you? I will show up looking concerned, looking over like a report, and I'm going to look at the captain with kind of like an oh no look at my face. Oh no, Captain. Did you eat it?
I'm just finishing up grilling it right now.
Okay.
Throw it on some plates.
That's a hard pass for me.
That's fine.
You can throw it on some plates.
What does it smell like?
It smells like likely whatever you seasoned it as, and the
Yeah.
fish undertone.
The pepper.
Mhm.
You don't want it to smell too fishy because then you know it's not good.
Well, the thing is, you're a third horizoner, right? So when we talk about like flavor palettes and we talk about food, the third horizon is really based in what we would consider Arabic, Persian touchstones. So your food is naturally going to trend more to taste like that, just because that's going to be sort of like the flavor of home. You don't have a European palate at all, really. So think like, definitely Persian, Pan Asian, Thailand. That is your structural, cultural touchstones.
Yeah, so I probably added a lot of spice to it.
Yeah, because you want to, we want to cover up whatever purple power it has.
I had
Yeah.
to get myself whatever meal packet I would normally have that is preferred for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sure. All right, I'll sit down and I'll take a bite with my hands.
So, Captain, what's your favorite color?
Green.
You sit down and take a few bites of it. It is definitely not the type of fish you are used to. The texture is not as palatable as you wanted. It does feel like it's very dense. So I would say, like, imagine a fish that has the density of like a lobster tail.
Mm.
So you feel like it probably has a ton of protein in it. But you're really thanking the icons for your spice blends. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, it's not bad. Somebody wouldn't need a lot to have a meal. It's pretty heavy.
Hmm.
You want something heavy in protein or that can be filling. And this is it.
Just continue watching the Captain.
Until like I start my timer on my watch
Mm-hmm.
to see if there's any side effects.
Okay.
And how long they take.
It'll probably take 6 to 8 hours, at least, unless there's an initial allergic reaction.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll just ask you to make a might roll for me to see if you keep it down.
I get an 18.
Yeah. Stomach of a goat, evidently. You not only are able to consume it, but it honestly, as a change of pace from the pre-prepared meals, this is something different, which to you is like awesome.
Yeah, I miss some of the restaurants and food vendors and
all of it
from Coriolis Station and the different planets. So this is definitely better than the tofu plasticky stuff we've been eating.
The day wears on. All of you have been working on different tasks, etc. The moth friend eventually does calm down when the actual cooking stops, Tamarisk. But it is a key reminder that they shouldn't be here.
I'm going to reiterate that releasing that thing on this planet could possibly be absolutely disastrous, especially for a colony.
We can't keep it here, Ducky.
I understand that. But I feel like we'd be rendering this planet uninhabitable to have an emotionally manipulative species that could essentially dominate the human race loose, just loose, in the area we intend to colonize.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Did we determine about how long ago the moon blew up Were we able to do that? I can't remember.
You figured out the general direction it came from, but you'd have to do a little bit more high quality math to figure out the timing.
What I'd like to do, since I'm not a scientist or anything, but I am a navigator, is kind of, there's another moon there too. Am I correct? Did you say there were two or is there just one?
There were two, yes.
Okay. I want to track that moon for a little while to see its orbit and how long it takes. And then try to backtrack and see where it is in the cycle and see if I can figure out about how long, counting the gravity flow and everything, the pieces moving, maybe do a rough timeline. I know it's not going to be exact, but that's what I'll be probably working on this afternoon since I'm not a scientist or anything like that.
I know it sounds like pretty scientific stuff you're doing, but sure.
But it's something I would be more familiar with than, plankton. Yep. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can certainly give me a intellect roll. This would be mathematics based.
Okay.
You can ask the ship to assist you with some of the heavier calculations if you'd like.
I would. Would I be able to use piloting since I do a lot of navigation with it?
I think it's reasonable enough for if you're going to come at it from the quote chair, the pilot's chair of, using the data you have from the ship. I think that's reasonable.
Okay. Uh, 17.
Okay. Yeah, you don't think that it's been more than maybe 2 weeks since that happened?
Okay.
So very recent.
The fact of the matter is, this thing was on a rock being jettisoned through deep space, and we picked it up and brought it here. It's not supposed to be here.
We're not supposed to be here either, yet here we are. I do take your point, Sergeant, but we do need to find something to do with it. It can't be just sitting on our ship forever.
If it was living on a moon, would we want to take it to another moon?
I mean, not all moons are the same either. They can have climates, they can have atmospheres, they can have life forms.
Well, according to what I've kind of figured out, it's been about 2 weeks since that moon went boom. Roughly. They survived out in space or whatever for 2 weeks.
They were inside a rock that cracked open in our hold. And they survived in their whatever minimal caterpillary life form was. They didn't emerge until they were exposed to whatever our atmosphere is, given the chance to, evolve.
Know that the moon exploded 2 weeks ago, Quinn. Do you know the trajectory of where it came from?
Can I give you a rough guess based on the rotation that I'm watching the other moon?
I think it's reasonable to make some assumptions about where you think it was. You think that the two moons were likely in they were sort of diametric sides of this in rotation of this major planet. So they probably never technically saw each other, but they rotated around the same moon or the same planet. And now whatever's happened obviously has eliminated that moon and left little pieces of detritus on this planet, which, by the way, would lead you to believe, Quinn, that if parts of that moon did fall into this planet and there were these moth creatures embedded in the core or the rock, those moth creatures might already be on this planet.
On the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It could be already here. It's been 2 weeks and the gravity pull would have pulled at least some of the debris. And if that even had one or two of them in it, it's a good possibility that there's a couple of critters on the dark side. So they probably have already been introduced.
If that's the case, then we should probably go to where they are.
Yeah.
We're dropping this thing off.
Rakam, do you think we could scan the moth creature and then scan the planet as we're flying along the dark side to be able to scan for his friends?
We would have to be pretty close to the planet. We'd probably have to be above the canopy or any canopy that might be left there on that side, Captain. Also, I would just remind you that the canopy covers pretty well everything, and the sensors on the ship are only so finite. So we can certainly try. I can't tell you whether or not it will be effective.
Well, either way, we're going to have to investigate. So, if I had to recommend a course of action, it would be to inspect the jungle here to decide what level of fauna we may be dealing with, and then take our findings, head to the other side of the planet where we're going to have to determine what impact, literally and figuratively, the moon exploding had on the habitability of this world, including new residents. And hopefully not fall prey to, I don't know, an entire colony of these things, machinations.
I think that sounds like a good plan. Is that, Tamarisk, can you let our moth friend know that's our plan? Find their people.
I'll see what I can do.
Still chewing on like some of the fish, like one piece at a time. It's pretty cold now because fish does get cold pretty quickly. So it doesn't have the same taste that it did before.
When I get up from the table after eating my prepared, I'll leave my findings next to the captain, kind of face up, with just the predictive spectrum of like the excrement color projections, and I'll just kind of tap it.
You don't think I have not had? That's a double negative. I've had colored poop before, Ducky. Okay.
Yeah, but this is a lovely hue, I'm sure.
Yeah. You eat certain things on certain planets, and you could have like rainbow colored poo coming out of your rear end.
Well, I was hungry. I'll be back later.
But I'm glad we could have this conversation.
Just hope it keeps you regular.
Okay. You're going to prepare to what? Check out the dark side of the planet?
We got to check the jungle before we leave.
Okay.
Do you want me to just take Ghost and scout it, or does anybody want to come with me? If we can go on foot.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea if a couple of us go. Quinn, did you wanna or?
Yeah. Yeah. I want yeah, it smells in here. I'm going outside.
Okay. You all head outside. Tamarisk, are you hanging out with the moth person?
I'm going to do my best to convey some impression of we're looking for its family, and then go out with everyone else.
They leave you a very sad impression while you walk out.
Yeah, Rakam. If that thing does anything crazy on the ship, do you have any way to defend yourself?
Defend myself?
The ship.
What do you mean?
I don't know what it might do when we're gone.
Give me an example.
I don't know. Say it gets out and starts, I don't know, pollinating everything.
Well, the pollen won't bother me. I'm a digital intelligence.
Well, yeah, I get that, but it'll bother us when we get here, and then we'll be trapped by its crazy brain powers.
Oh, I would simply prevent you from getting back on the ship.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's let us know.
Of course.
Great.
Alrighty, you exit the ship. And we're going to go, take a jaunt into the jungle?
Mm-hmm.
It is late afternoon when you step back outside the ship. And the atmosphere here, this environment has changed dramatically as you realize that while late afternoon is true on your clock, it's not true overhead. It is still very bright out.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of kicks in finally that tracking time and at least visually here, is going to be a little different.
Yeah, I'll move my clock to calibrate to whatever the day cycle is here. How many hours is the day?
So based on the estimate that you have, the hours in the day is roughly 2 Earth years.
Okay, cool. So what hour are we in currently? I'm just kidding. I'll do the math. So 2 Earth years, huh?
Yep.
So if we were to choose our arrival date, like our landing date as 0, we've been here for not very long, right? A few hours.
Yep.
So of a 17,000 hour day, 17,520 hour day,
right?
We're like on hour 8. All right, cool. 8 of 17,520. All right, cool. Cool. That's 8. So yeah, I set my clock to 17,512 in a countdown.
Okay.
It's 17,512 o'clock.
You said it. You head into the jungle.
It's 2 years. That's 2 years of daylight. Man, you could grow some plants here. Holy shit. Talking giant corn.
You look over.
Imagine those tomatoes.
Yeah. Massive tomatoes.
Somebody plants a watermelon and comes back. It's Audrey too.
Feed me.
Yeah. Oh shit, I hadn't thought about that.
What's that?
Carnivorous plant life.
Oh, that's okay. I have.
Yeah, it's gonna be unconcerned with flies.
Yeah. Think about it.
We're talking bears. Plants that can eat bears.
You head into the jungle. Who, by the way, is leading this expedition? Who's first into the breach?
Not it.
I will happily take point unless the captain really wants to be up there.
I'll be behind you.
I got your back.
I'll watch your 6 or 7.
I'll go last.
You can tell which one of us has little kids in this room. It's Morgan. You all head in. So I would like you to imagine, if you will, a probably South American style jungle atmosphere. So this is something like the Amazon in effect as you get past the tree line. It is twice as dense at the ground level as you are used to. And so it does require you to sort of cut your own path in some way, shape, or form because of the sheer number of branches and then the sort of layered growth that happens in a jungle. So you have the trees that support this massive canopy, and then you have all the things that sort of feed off of that ecosystem and work at the ground level. You also realize that given the day, the length of the day here, the sheer amount of growth that happens is pretty dramatic. You can watch some plants here actively grow. Some flowers bloom while you are moving through this space.
Get to use my new machete.
Sure.
Cool.
I mean, somebody has to cut a path, so yeah.
Yep.
Chopping your way through.
Yeah, we'll see if this was your mother's knife. I don't say that.
Sergeant, I'm going to offer you a single point of experience, and I'm going to offer you to offer one to your fellow crew because we are going to have a jam intrusion.
I will offer it to Tamarisk.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. You are beset upon by death itself in the form of a vegetable. This vegetable, though, is thrown. The suit picks it up. You pick up on the HUD that something is incoming. And I'm going to have you make a speed defense roll. You are hindered because of surprise.
Cool. Love it. All right. Yeah. Hindered speed defense. You love to see it. Let's roll the die with a 5.
Okay. You get assailed by what you think is maybe eggplant or something akin to it. And it hits your helmet. And when it does, it spatters all over the visor.
Ah, what is that?
And you realize that it's actually a problem because you can't see. So for the rest of you, something gets launched from the jungle and hits the sergeant like in the face, and it spatters. Imagine again an eggplant with, say, like the firmness of like a really large apple when it shatters, like it shatters into big chunks. And you hear this hooting and this strange sort of calling noise in the jungle. This is probably after about 10 or 15 minutes of you being on this initial path.
God damn it, contact.
What are the rest of you doing?
Pulling out my Vulcan pistol.
Okay. So I would like you all to make speed tests.
Yay.
8.
8.
Okay.
I use danger sense to ease my initiative task.
Good idea.
I am also going to spend have 2 edge in it.
Mhm.
So I'm going to spend 2 effort. I'm going to spend 1 point and lower it. Sorry. By 1, if that's okay.
It's perfectly fine.
All right.
Got a 5 again.
Oh, okay.
13 for me.
All right.
I'm also trained in initiative, so that'll lower it by 2.
Mhm.
But that's probably not going to help because I got a 6 on my dice.
I am also trained in initiative, so that would lower that by as well.
Yep. So
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Quinn, you're the only person who's going to get to go before they do.
And what am I seeing from the back?
So this is really tough. The tough part is that you are seeing a wide and expansive jungle floor with a lot of potential trees to hide behind. And everything here is a variance in color of like greens and browns, very, very big, of course, on earth tones. But then also there are like some patterned yellows from some of the plants. And what you don't see is anything large moving. It's possible that they're using the extensive jungle, as cover.
Am I hearing any movement other than us?
Yeah, I know you hear things, but the problem is that you hear a lot of things. You don't know where they're coming from.
I'm going to yell duck and then get in a defensive position.
Okay. So I'm going to have all of you make speed defense rolls now.
Yay. 17.
Okay.
That's better.
Are we having a problem, Sergeant?
I got a third 5.
Okay.
Got an 8.
I have a 1, but I'm going to re-roll that with my luck.
You are luck. That's
Good
very,
idea.
Very good.
And it becomes a 15.
Sergeant, you get pelted again. You get
Son of a
right off the dome. Like you hear it come in, and Quinn, you hit the deck as one of these vegetables, fruits, you're not sure, comes in. Tamarisk, you and the captain both get impacted by them. They don't do any appreciable damage. So when they hit you, they sort of shatter because they're a vegetable or some type of fruit. What they leave behind is a slick, dark, sort of purpley glue.
We got hit with a 17.
Oh, wait, you had 17. Sorry, so you don't
Yeah.
get hit, but
Okay.
the captain and
I get
and
hit.
you get hit, and then the captain and the sergeant get hit.
My hand. What is this stuff? I can't smell it. I have a mask on, so
That is true.
I wipe it on my pants.
You go to wipe it on your pants, and when you wipe it on your pants, your hand quickly picks up friction and then gets adhered to your leg. Like you can probably pull it off, but you see the strands of this sort of tacky material peel, and you make basically like the big sort of mozzarella cheese pizza strands come off. That's a problem.
That is the problem. Don't touch the purple stuff, guys.
So for that matter, then I'll ask now. The rest of the team can go. So I think somebody had a 10. Yes.
I had an 8.
I had a 5.
8, 5. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead, Tamarisk, got 8.
Looking for cover, like Quinn suggested, because that seems like a good idea right now.
Okay. There's definitely a ton of cover around here. It's really just your choice of picking it.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to pick up the cover bonus.
Okay.
Sergeant?
I have 2 problems. One of which is all I can remember is what I saw last. So I am going to basically dive into the brush and try to find a large object like a tree or a root or a bush, something to plant myself against.
Mhm.
And I'm going to reach behind like the fixtures that keep my helmet in place.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pop the hatch and pull my helmet off because I can't fucking see. So I need to see, and I know we can breathe here. So here we go.
Okay.
I just need to not get hit in the face again.
You take it off, and you are the first of our crew to breathe the air of the planet.
Yep.
I just figured I'd mention that.
I appreciate it, but at least I can see now.
That's very true.
I know that there's all sorts of tacky stuff
Mhm.
here, so I will just let the helmet drop into like its back position, and then I'll just leave it. I'll clean it later. But yeah, I get low and try to make sure I don't get hit by any other incoming. And I start looking for angry things.
Okay. Captain, what are you up to then?
Yeah, I am going to head towards wherever the vegetable or fruit came from, the plant life that I got hit with.
Yeah.
And put my gun away and just raise my hands.
Okay. Interesting. You raise your hands, one of them clearly covered in this goop. You hear again a series of calls, whoops, shouts. From behind one of these trees, a very smooth-skinned figure steps out. They have reasonably strong legs. They are tall, probably a good 2 meters tall. They have 4 arms, 2 on each side, symmetrically. And they have, covering the top of their bodies, what look like little tiny growths of plant life. They have a ovoid face, and that ovoid face is pocked with different colored and different sized eyes. I'd say there's probably a collection of about 6 to 8.
Sure, it startles me just a little. I try not to let it show in my face. Ever seen an individual such as this?
No, you have not.
I hold my palms out and to show them that I'm unarmed. And I have my gun was holstered, and I, on the comms to my crew, if they're throwing vegetables at us, they're probably not super dangerous. I wouldn't say super. Morgan would say super. Amara would say they're probably not very dangerous beings.
Okay.
So let's show them that we're not a threat. We are in their home.
So we'll move back to the top of initiative because they're not out of rounds yet. Because they don't consider this over. They appreciate that you do. Quinn, what are you doing now that you've taken cover?
I'm going to keep my gun out, but I'm going to kind of aim at one of them, but not fire. I'm just going to keep him covered in case he does something more aggressive than throw fruit.
So let me ask you something. If you're in the mentality of Quinn, you are someone who very clearly came from Earth. You have been in a cryo machine for many, many years. You have been thawed and very recently gone through the process of understanding that you are no longer in your own home. And furthermore, you are now hunting for the survival of your species. And you have now just encountered what you believe is like a humanoid alien life form. How do you think Quinn is coping with that?
Probably scared out of his wits, honestly. I mean, he's kind of trained for it, but this is the first time he's actually really experienced something other than a critter and he just goes into the defense mode. I would think,
okay,
to protect his captain and his crew. He knows he thinks he's not seen. He probably is, but he knows Tamarisk could probably, if anybody's going to be able to communicate, it's going to be Tamarisk. So he's not going to do anything to try to spoil that. So he's just going to stay right where he is.
Okay. So you stay where you are. You stay defensive on their initiative. They're going to close. So from points all around the group, you begin hearing more movement through the bushes and from around these trees. You see one of these beings climb down the tree using both sets of these really powerful arms on their upper body to ease them down. I imagine it would more look like they're free climbing down, which is a task all in itself. They barely even use their feet to hold themselves against the tree when they come down. And there's probably 8 of them at best guess. And there is definitely 1 or 2 behind the group too. And in their hands, they have these vegetables or these pieces of fruit. You're not sure what they are specifically. We'll call them vegetables. they engage in a series of calls to one another. They make these sort of very exaggerated throat sounds. It's not speaking per se, like words, but they definitely hoot and call, and it fills the jungle space around you. And they, with their free hands, sort of pound on the ground. They make some aggressive motions, but they don't make any attackive motions this round. And none of you have ever seen a 6 or 8-eyed humanoid. And so, Sergeant's reaction.
You're muted, Leko.
Thank you. I think Tamarisk goes before me.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's probably true. Tamarisk, go ahead.
No, you're muted.
We're carrying mutes around is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You cut my mute.
Yep.
It's okay.
Mutes are catching. So I don't think I've been listening long enough to understand what they're saying yet. So I have mind reading. With that, if they communicate, like, would it be able to pick up thoughts in the form of like emotions, feelings, images, and so on? Or is it words only?
Maybe
It
not.
says I can read the surface thoughts.
I think that you can probably use it to read surface thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, of these creatures.
Okay, so I spend 2 intellect points for that. It has to be something I can see. So the first one that we saw, the one that's out in front.
Mhm.
And I'm going to try and gather its surface thoughts. Okay. That is a 15.
Its surface thoughts probably consist of you get a lot of protective thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You get a lot of thoughts that train you towards the idea that they are trying to protect something, maybe like a space, a habitat that they live in, a territory.
Okay. So I'll say, how far away is the captain and everybody else? I don't know how far away we are from each other.
I don't think it's too far. It's probably 2 to 3 meters.
Right. So I'll just say in a calm, neutral voice, Captain, Ducky, they're protecting something. I think maybe we're intruding on their territory, or there's nesting grounds or something nearby, but they're protecting it, whatever it is.
Okay. I sit down on the ground. Cross my legs. Crisscross applesauce.
Okay. You sit down on the ground. They don't move any closer, but they do seem to sort of focus in on you.
What I would like to do now that I have my eyes free, I want to make sure that I'm in a solid position because I don't like the fact that we're being surrounded by these things.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is a horrible situation to be in. We are on an alien planet surrounded by natives who understand the terrain and are operating as an organized unit. And we are currently surrendering to them, which I find extremely confusing, considering we're going to have to figure out how to either live with or, I don't know, dominate this particular species if people want to live here. So, to make sure that we get out of this alive, I'm going to reposition myself so that if I have to either start shooting at one of these or grabbing one of these, I don't want my back to any of them. So I'm going to scoot, I guess, in a direction. I'm going to stay low. I understand they can probably see me. They can probably hear me.
Mhm.
That's fine. They're probably going to watch my movement. I'm going to watch them. But I am not assuming any sort of, I would say, docile posture.
Okay. Quinn, what about you? People are now moving around, so I want to give you the option.
I'll almost do the same thing. Just kind of move to where I can try to get nothing at my back. And try to see if there's another way around if we have to run.
Yeah, so the difficult stuff that you begin to pick out is that if you really want to sort of have nothing at your back, what you need to put at your back is probably the sergeant.
Okay.
Because it's just there are more of them than you thought there were.
Mm-hmm.
And their numbers only seem to be growing.
How far from the ship are we?
At a dead run, probably 7 to 8 minutes. So no help from the ship coming anytime soon. And as these creatures get closer, we're going to take our final break of today. So hang with us and we'll find out maybe who these creatures are and what they want. We'll be back. Welcome back to the final hour of Children of the Periphery. This is season 3. It is episode 6, playfully titled Don't Play With Your Food. So when we last left our intrepid human heroes, they had been investigating a new planet. They have encountered now a alien race of people, very large, smooth-skinned, 2-meter tall creatures, 4 arms, reasonably powerful built upper bodies with many, many eyes and deep inset ears. They have surrounded the group after throwing a few pieces of food at them, seemingly food, but very sticky, tacky food, and are, from what is best understood by Tamarisk, they are simply trying to protect their home or protect this portion of their territory. They are happy, it seems, to go into a bit of a holding pattern here. So they stand around you for a good, 10 or 15 seconds without doing anything. You sort of hold on to these pieces of purple vegetable matter, the previously mentioned sticky material, and they sort of gawk at you.
Captain, you care to explain what your plan is here?
Well, I'm really quite not sure at this point, other than any planet we can go to may have some sort of sentient life that we need to live with.
Mm-hmm.
So we should probably try to communicate with them. Mm-hmm. Not everybody's going to speak our language.
So surrender is the go-to here.
Nobody's surrendering.
You're sitting on the ground right now.
Right. To show that I'm not a threat.
Oh. Orders if they choose to engage.
If they choose to engage, you can shoot. Them, not me.
Thanks for the clarification, Captain.
I was clarifying for the sergeant.
One of them that previously threw a vegetable steps forward a little bit. It doesn't so much walk. Their gait is not upright really at all. They sort of dip as they move.
I believe that if these things understand protecting behavior, I'm going to move to a position, if Quinn is with me, even though the captain is prostrating themselves currently, I will move into a protective posture where the captain is exposed and make it very, very clear that I'm doing so.
Yep. And I'll be right behind him.
Okay. You move in behind him. As you all move, they shift. And Tamarisk, what you pick up on is movement almost like a school of fish. When you move, they adjust to where you're at. They seem very concerned when you move. And there's more of this sort of throat howling, calling sound that they make.
This is not the place. This is not the way to deal with pack hunters, Captain.
Can't hear you, Morgan.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Better?
Mm-hmm.
Hello. No. Listen, your moving is causing them distress. Just hold, please.
Their moving is causing me distress.
Oh. Take a beat.
Might be a weird question, but do they seem jittery at all? Or they?
You want to judge their intent?
Yeah.
It's definitely an intellect roll.
Okay. I have a thought, but let me see. Intellect. I have an edge in that, so I'm gonna
spend some pool points.
I am going to spend some pool points. Thank you.
Do it to it.
That is a 14, and I'm going to stick with that one.
Okay. I'd say that what you pick up on them isn't jitter per se. It is, they have a very focused sense about them. Like their eyes, all of them, are not darting around. One of the things you pick up on Quinn is that their sort of center set eyes are focused on the group. But some of the eyes that are out towards the outer part of their head, they move and look in different directions. Like they sort of scan at the same time. And you can imagine how hard it would be to sneak up on somebody if they had this many eyes. They can likely see at a really wide FOV. Their field of view is probably super wide. And if they hunt like this in groups, then they're probably used to people moving, or at least things moving and adjusting to them. What you think with a 14, what you think that they're waiting on is they're waiting to try to figure out whether or not they can, well, where you're at on the food chain.
Yeah, see, these seem hooting and howling a whole lot. They have mouths, I'm guessing.
They do, actually. Yep.
Can you tell me, do they look omnivorous, carnivorous? Do we have sharp teeth? Do we have blunt teeth?
I think we have a mixture of both, probably sharp and blunt teeth.
Awesome. They'd love to eat us. Cool. Sounds great.
Very, I think their teeth are probably dark. I think their teeth are probably purplish.
The fish too.
The one that you think probably through the first vegetable piece approaches a little closer to you, Captain. You get a good look at its upper body, both sets of arms, and it is sort of something to get visually used to. Two sets of shoulders, sort of this inner and outer. And the inner arms, the lower arms, are maybe a little less muscled than the upper version. But there's definitive multiple sets of pectorals. Like their whole upper body is like a cage of muscle.
Yeah, I slowly stand up and just still trying to keep a very non-aggressive stance. And I point to myself, Amara. And I gesture to the creature that's near me.
You don't see this creature's heads move when you gesture. Only the eyes move. Like, it doesn't turn to look at Tamarisk or Sergeant, whoever you point at next. It's all that moves are its eyes. It does not take a set of eyes off of you.
Yeah, I do the same introduction with the rest of the crew. Pausing for 5 to 10 seconds between, and I at the end I kind of spread my arms, around all of us. I'm human.
It whistles. Like, first a really long, deep tone, and then something that is higher pitched, and it ends in like this trill, repetitious whistle.
Tamarisk, is that like their language? I guess I have no idea.
It's my first time hearing it, so I'm not certain.
Several of the creatures blend back in to the jungle. They move off.
Definitely some form of communication.
The lower bodies of these creatures, two reasonably powerful legs, they are... they're covered in this like sort of topical like vine material, probably from the middle of their chest all the way down to the knees.
Almost like armor.
It could be considered a form of armor, yeah. It reaches behind itself and takes out this piece of green fruit and takes a bite out of it. And then with one of its lower arms sort of offers it out towards you.
Put out my hand.
You put out your hand, and instead of placing it in your hand, it squeezes the fruit. And so your hand is filled with this, I'll say, lime scented juice.
Smell the lime and
It's
look around at my...
It smells like lime.
Yeah. This would be good with some tequila, I say, before I...
You slurp it. When you do so, you get an immediate hit of an intoxicant. It tastes maybe fermented, maybe something like that. And it's really strong.
Mm. This is like their alcohol or something. It's good. But I don't think you want me to drive the ship for a while. I mean, fly the ship.
The captain's already drunk.
I'm already there.
You drive the ship. What? You gonna do what?
Yeah. I nod at the creature. I go into my pack next to me and maybe grab out a like a protein bar or something we would have had. And break a piece off and hand it over to offer it to the creature.
It plucks it from you with one of the lower hands, which has sort of an extensive series of thick nails. And it reaches, like, it up towards its mouth, and it sort of smells it. It seems a little less than interested for a moment, and then it like breaks it into smaller pieces and eats a piece of it.
Yeah, it doesn't really taste all that good. I agree.
It sort of spits
Right.
pieces of it out, but it does consume some of it.
It's being polite. Tamarisk, you wanna work some magic here?
I'll see what I can do. It hasn't been speaking, or communicating, so I can't pick up its language
Not yet.
yet. No, it doesn't verbally respond when the captain is talking to it.
It does not.
All right, so I will reach out telepathically.
Okay. You reach out telepathically.
Spend an intellect point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need to roll for this one. It just says action to initiate.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about a roll. Okay.
Yep. You reach out telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
You find a reasonably receptive mind. You don't feel any block or like sort of thick mental framework that keeps you from doing that.
Okay. So I will like try to express the normal first contact peace and calm, and we don't mean any harm, like that sort of that I normally do when I at this point multiple times when we've established first contact. But also, like, does it seem to be thinking in like images or feelings the way other creatures that I've communicated with have, or does it seem to have a more complex language?
You don't think it has a complex language at all. You think
Okay.
it has a pretty rudimentary language, probably what, and this isn't the right word for it, but I would say less than advanced than normal human speech. It has its own likely dialect or series of emotion-based or feeling-based responses, sounds, etc. But you would not say that this is a cultivated language.
Okay. So I will use simple images and feelings to try and convey we mean you no harm, we come in peace, and reinforce what the captain was trying to do, essentially, and see if it responds at all.
I think that's definitely going to be some sort of diplomatic role. I think it's going to be difficult because it's a first contact. Also, it's a species that is probably not used to, say, mental suggestion. I know that you're trained in all forms of diplomacy, which is good.
Specialized.
Okay, you're specialized. So even better. That's good because you're going to need it.
Okay. Yay. And I'm going to apply a level of effort.
Good idea.
I have 2 edge and intellect, so spend 1. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
You could actually, as a tier 2 character, spend 2 levels of effort if you wanted to. Just that the first one costs you 1, the next one costs you even more.
Okay. I will do that. And that is an 18.
So you're very careful. Mentally, like a surgeon, you begin to line up some bodily movements, careful, cautious ones. And as you make suggestions to this being, you get its attention and then help it understand, I guess, what you're here for. And so because I think it's really important what you convey. What are you conveying to this creature, at least in the grand scheme of things?
In the grand scheme of things, that we don't mean them or their cohort any harm.
Mm-hmm.
That we're just moving through. We didn't mean to disturb them. And that we don't want any trouble. We're not looking for trouble.
Okay. I suppose the impressions that you get back are that it conveys to you that this is their home, and they do not normally encounter outsiders, and they want to know if you are food.
Fish are friends, not food. Make it very clear we're not food.
It tells you that the forest is its place, its home.
So I'll relay that information to everyone else, keeping the calm, even tone when I'm speaking out loud.
Sure.
And minimizing my body movements.
Mm-hmm. Several of the creatures that had moved off sort of moved back a little bit, and they're now clustering up around the one you're talking to. What are the rest of you doing?
Listening.
Waiting for the shit to hit the fan.
Can you ask our new friend if they would be willing to share the jungle with other people like us?
I'm not sure they have a concept for that. They don't have complex language the way we do.
Can you ask it if it has any predators? What if it's hunting here? What's hunting it? Or are they the top of the food chain here?
Okay.
These are actually pretty reasonable questions. They're not hard to ask. What hunts you? It kneels down. It's the first time you've seen it do that. And it takes a stick from the forest floor and it draws something very large. It looks like it looks like a big bat, actually. Easiest thing to equate it to.
Does it look anything like the avian creatures we saw earlier?
No. This is
Okay.
much more of a main body that is thicker rather than, say, thinner.
Okay.
And then it draws these lines that come out of the front of the bat, or the bat creature.
Oh, so it's fire breathing. That's amazing. It's got lasers.
What if it's a ship and not a bat? You said lasers.
I was kidding.
What?
Doesn't look like a ship to me, but
It then moves to another piece of dirt and it draws something else. This creature looks like a bipedal dog. It has really pronounced ears.
So there's another species here too.
So it's not the apex. If there's other things that hunt it.
These things in the jungle?
Well, they said the jungle, this forest is their territory, their home. So I'm guessing this is part of it.
Ship, they wouldn't be able to see through the canopy unless they have more advanced technology than we do.
Probably true. I mean, unless their eyes give them some sort of vision that you're not familiar with.
I mean, if these things understand the concept of hunting, and we ask them what's hunting them, and it's these things, then that would lead me to believe that flying thing eats them, and dog people eat them.
Right, but they don't look like they carry automatic weapons. Their weapons seem to be themselves and sticks and vegetables.
Yeah.
So they are clearly not as evolved as we might be. At least on that front. Intellectually, they may be light years ahead.
You don't think so, Tamarisk?
I'm going to go ahead
No.
and say no on that.
No, definitely not.
Philosophically, I'm just saying that those are the things they consider to be predators because that's all they have based on their current technology level.
What if the predators are more smarter? Like us.
Well, that's something we would have to determine by engaging them. So we'd have to know where they are. Do we really want to know?
It's probably on any planet we are going to settle on.
Well, all right.
If your general wants a planet with no other life forms that could possibly be sentient, no predators that they won't never have to hunt or hunt us, and he wants stuff fucking perfect, then he should be out here himself.
How'd we go from my general to your species? I feel like we crossed some lines somewhere. You were just talking about perpetuating your species, and now it's my general. These goals are not mutually exclusive, Captain.
She
doesn't like him.
I don't.
I don't care.
Okay, you want the criteria is to find a livable planet that has air, food, water, things that can sustain energy, and other shit for a civilization.
Sure.
And we have most of that right here.
Mm-hmm.
So we can add it to the list. We don't have to stop looking, but we should at least consider it.
I thought we were on a clock.
We are on a clock. We add it to the list as a possibility. How much time do we? How many weeks has it been, Michael? We get 2 months.
You have 2 months. It's probably at this point been close to a week.
Oh, so you'd be like, it's been 6 weeks.
No, but you would also
is-
you'd also know, Captain, that like there are only so many planets in the registry, and
Right.
you don't know how many more habitable planets there are in this specific system, and you haven't found another gate out either. So
I guess what I'm saying, Captain, is that if this planet checks all those boxes, it would be in our interests to evaluate the situation thoroughly so that if there is indigenous life that we have to consider, it's not ultimately our authority that's going to determine what happens when the colony shows up here. We are not an ambassadorship. We're not representing the civilization. We're a scouting vessel.
I agree. But if we're making the decision of, yes, this is the planet our people are coming to, we still have to look at that as well.
So either we move on or we move in.
With the time we have left, I think we could at least get one more planet in.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. So we move on or we move in
Okay, let's move on. But I'm adding it to the list. Now we gotta go take our new Mothman friend over to the dark side of the planet. And then while we're doing that, let's calculate to see where the next planet is.
We're going to have to get back to the ship first. Are they going to let us?
It seems like, I don't know. Tamarisk? Are they gonna eat us?
You don't think so?
So are we? Yeah, I don't think they're going to.
They were at
I
least,
think.
amenable about when you said we're not food. They didn't seem to question that. The being that you're talking to does hand you one of those green fruits that Captain Amara got.
Oh, take it. All right. So you want me to tell it we're leaving? Is that what we're doing? Didn't hear you, Captain.
Please let our friend know that we'll be disembarking from this planet. Post haste.
Yeah, and don't let on that, we might be the harbingers of their civilizational destruction.
Yeah, don't tell them that.
All right. So I'll convey that we're going to leave their territory.
They seem very pleased.
Mm-hmm.
They collect up into a group and leave one or two of them behind, but the majority of them move back up into the trees. And it's sort of like watching ants crawl on a stick, except that they're 2-meter tall beings made of flesh and muscle.
Oh, well, that was fun.
Yeah, they seem like perfectly pleasant natives.
We did walk into their home.
No, I'm
They
just
didn't
saying,
throw rocks at us or anything, so I'm going to claim that as a good thing.
That was genuine. Tamarisk, I feel like it's going to be a shame to know what's going to end up having to happen if the human civilization is forced to move here.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah,
All right,
back
so
to
we're
the ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 10, 15 minutes later, you arrive at the ship.
Can I have one aside with the captain before we get there?
Go for it.
While we're walking.
We're
Captain,
gonna have an aside.
a little bit.
I had that noted from last time, so I'm glad you pulled me aside.
There's something you wanted to say earlier?
Yeah. Listen. No good conversation starts with listen, but listen, Ducky. Sergeant, I understand I understand why you're here and why you need to be here. And I respect your position. But we can't go into every situation thinking that something's going to harm us. We're never going to make it. You were ready to shoot those people.
Did I draw my gun?
Okay, you said that on break. I'm going to kill them all.
I never drew my gun.
No, Quinn did.
No,
but
you didn't. You did take a defensive position, which is fine. Okay.
Last I checked, you drew your gun. Quinn
I did
drew
draw my
his
gun.
gun.
Okay, but then I put my gun away.
Mm-hmm. I take the situation for what it is, Captain.
I understand. We're going to encounter new life forms. We have to treat those situations gingerly. That's why we have Tamarisk to help with those situations as well.
Yeah, until Tamarisk gets accidentally or permanently eaten by some monster.
That is the nature and risks of our jobs.
Does Tamarisk know that Tamarisk is the tip of the spear that is potentially going to get eaten because we didn't act defensively?
No, we should. What would you like to do?
I'm doing exactly what I was trained to do, which is assess the situation as it approaches, as it emerges, and as it unfolds. I don't make any assumptions going into a combat scenario except the fact that we are in a combat situation, and that's what that was. We were under attack.
Right, but did your training teach you how to encounter new life forms?
My training taught me how to survive a combat encounter.
All right. They were throwing vegetables.
They were
What kind of fucking combat encounter is that?
They were throwing suppressive agents that could have disabled any one of us had been peppered enough. You, me, I started the fight blinded. Do you really want to say these things were harmless?
Oh, no, they were definitely not harmless.
These are extremely powerful creatures that could have rended any one of us probably with its own arms.
And they didn't.
But they could have.
They could have, right. And I could have shot them in the head. But I didn't. Why? Because I diplomatically took a stance, knowing that we were going to encounter new life forms, knowing that we're going to have to do that on almost any new planet. And if you don't understand that, you are as bad as your general.
I'm trying to figure out
And
the
we're
point
gonna
of
have
this
to live with
lecture.
those folks.
What is the point of this lecture?
I'm very angry right now.
Because
I'm tired. We're looking for a new planet. You're getting pissy. I don't understand.
Captain, do you even know why I wanted to pull you
I have
aside?
no fucking clue. What do you want to talk about, John Sargant?
You know what? I think you've already drawn your conclusions about where I stand. So I will leave the moral and philosophical decision as to whether or not we include this planet that is going to contain at least 3 intelligent or semi-intelligent life forms, including your pixie friends, on or off the list of potential civilizational targets. You can have that internal dialogue now, all by yourself. I'm going to go think about what the general's going to want, because apparently that's all I care about.
What it seems like. And I stomp onto the ship.
Love it.
My own temper tantrum.
Yes. Very good. You stomp onto the ship and have a temper tantrum. So my question then is the ship staying here, or is it being prepared to exit stage left and look for another planet?
What do we do with the moth?
Drop it off on the other side of the planet. We'll cross this planet off the list. It's not on. We don't want our people. Sometimes, just because something isn't perfect and falls under that definition of perfect doesn't mean it isn't good enough. So including things on a list. So we're not coming back with just one option. We've been out 1 week.
So we're not considering this planet?
I don't know. I'm about ready to just flip a table in the galley. What do you think, guys? It's not just my decision. Even if I did get angry at somebody and maybe say, go F off.
You know, I'm military. So I guess I'm supposed to see it from the military point of view. But I think that we have both sides of it. I mean, we have diplomats and military, and you have to come at it from both views and reach a happy medium. We are not. I'm not trained. Tamarisk may be in diplomacy. I'm not. I'm just a pilot. But I'm sure somebody who knows more what they're doing can come here and assess the situation and maybe know how to deal with these fruit throwing people better than we do. I mean,
we don't have that kind of time, Quinn. So initially, right off the bat, what's your thought? Yay or nay? I'm not snapping at you. I'm just
right.
It's in terms of conversation. I don't want Quinn to think that.
I think that we're picked one small location in a huge planet to judge it, and I don't think we can. Honestly, there could be other areas in the other parts of the jungle that are not inhabited by these people that we can just walk in and start colonizing, and then diplomacy later. But like I said, I'm just a pilot.
is the expectation that we find a mostly inhabitable planet and then go take that back to the general and the others, the council, and have them come back. I mean, we would have to obviously do that within the 8-week time period.
Mm-hmm.
That gives us less than ideal chances of finding an even better planet.
I mean, I would like to find maybe a better planet, but I don't think that we need to wipe this one totally off the list. There you go. That's my answer.
And that is a great decisive decision. Tamarisk?
I don't think we need to take it completely off the list, but we don't need to be making decisions right away. There's a lot of factors to consider. Where's the sergeant?
Sergeant Engineering.
We might have gotten in a tiff.
I'm shocked.
I may have yelled at him. I probably shouldn't have. I should apologize. I don't mean to get so worked up, but
I know you don't like the general, but
the sergeant is fine. Ducky's fine.
But
he's very knowledgeable.
Don't transfer that to all of the military folks. I'm just saying that because I'm not like the general. At least if I am, please tell me because I don't want to be.
I don't have anything against military or governments.
Okay.
General is just an asshole, and he rubs me the wrong way.
That's good to know. Racom says.
I'm gonna.
Racom.
What?
Help us out here.
Do
you have a vote for the planet?
I do not. But I want to make it clear that I am military personnel.
Racom, you have a special place in my heart.
No, I'm just making sure that we're separating things correctly. I'm a military intelligence. Yes. So I think you have a very hard choice.
About the planet?
Mm-hmm.
Or about okay.
You have a very small window of time to find something that is habitable. And while this planet seems to have some sort of intelligent life on it, as from what you're describing, so does the planet that the Nadir is currently in orbit of. And so whose lives do you get to upset? Because the option soon will not be to search for another planet. You will run out of time. And you're going to have to decide or help them decide. Now, based on size, this planet does seem to be very large. And so maybe there is another place in this planet where you would not necessarily have to encounter them directly. But that does not mean that there won't be life there too. Humans, you're going to upset the balance wherever you go. And you are going to come down to the age-old decision, which is, to whom do you upset? It is unavoidable. Simple math. You might not like it, but in any colonization effort, someone is usually upset. Based on what I see, our science and sensor scans have made of this planet, it does seem to be a very good fit. The water is drinkable. The soil could be used. The temperature is within reasonable parameters for human existence. The air is breathable. I don't need a vote, but it beats the slag rock that we were on previously to this. And the Ani and the Rakim are not here. The Rockton are not here.
I know, but just like you said, it's another sensual. It's another sensual.
It's another sensual life.
Sensual life.
So that's sensual colonization.
No.
That's different.
It is different. That's okay. It's Patricia. All I'm saying is that you will be forced to help them decide where. This is, keep in mind, with respect, you asked for this. The council and the military were prepared to colonize the current planet, and you begged them to hold off to find somewhere else.
I did.
You will not be allowed to come back empty-handed.
I know.
If they find out this planet is arable and livable and huge, they will simply begin to set whatever wheels in motion they need to come here. You will have to choose.
I know.
It's better to have options. So if we have time to look, I definitely look. But, the general is very pig-headed sometimes.
With respect.
Toward that, recon.
Certainly, Captain. I think that the Major General has a very difficult job to do.
Agree.
He does.
And he thinks in black and white. And it keeps people alive. He can't care about people's feelings. That makes him cold and calculating. And we had the luxury of being in the third horizon where there was ample space. And while some of the places might not have been nice to live, we didn't have to make these tough choices. It does not excuse his attitude, but if we are going to leave and search for another planet, Captain, I suggest we do it very soon.
Engineering to bridge. Are we in motion to the what's the ETA to the dark side of the planet?
Sergeant, we have not lifted off yet.
Copy that.
With your permission, Captain, I'll go ahead and start that.
I guess I better go apologize to the sergeant for my brashness. Ha ha!
Well done. Well done. Take an XP. Well done.
Yes. So I'll take the slow walk to engineering to gather my thoughts.
It's a slow walk. You pass the moth person on the way. They look pleadingly behind glass at you.
I wave as I
They cry. Big alligator tears. All they want to be is your friend, and you put them in a glass cage.
I heard them.
All right, you get to engineering.
I knock on the. Is the door open to engineering or?
Should be. I mean, it's engineering. It's not like a blockade.
Well, there could be a door to it. You can,
Probably.
yeah. So I knock on the open door.
I look up from the remote that I'm building, Captain.
I take a deep breath and I step in. Sergeant, I want to apologize for how I acted earlier. That was inappropriate, unprofessional. I respect where you're coming from. I'd like to say I don't do that ever. I mean, I respect you all. Like, I don't act like that ever. But here's the thing. I can be passionate sometimes. But that's no excuse. Even though I'm trying to make it an excuse. And I'm just like rambling on in an apology that's really hard for her to get out.
Just let her go.
It's like 5 minutes of, and when I was growing up, and I just gonna do it.
Yeah. I will actively listen.
I lost my parents when I was a young adult. I've just, they're supposed to be here. It's just a lot going on. And I'm just really, 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 really just, I may get a little bitchy sometimes, and I'm really sorry. And that was the end of it.
May I speak?
Yeah.
I appreciate your apology, Captain. And also, I hope you understand that we are essentially alone out here. And we're going to have to make very, very hard choices. I don't envy your position. My job is to make sure we get home alive. That's it. That was the task I was given. And obviously, you know, to contribute to the tech side of things around here. But ultimately, my job is to make sure that we get home alive, because we do have to get home alive for this to succeed one way or the other. Now, when making the choice of whether or not you're going to report this potentially habitable planet, I can't allow how I feel personally about it to matter. Those aren't the orders I was given. Do I have feelings about it? Of course I do.
Okay. Well, now that's squared away. What are you working on?
A remote for Ghost. We can use it as some sort of perhaps drone or scouting apparatus, or at least an accompaniment when we're in the field, so I don't have to ride around on it across terrain. It's pretty maneuverable, so I feel like it might be nice to have something that can have a little bit of elevation. As far as, you know, this planet and it being nice and large, we probably shouldn't act under any preconceived romantic notions that it is not human nature to expand. There is no part of this planet that we could travel to, even the deepest of the ocean, that wouldn't eventually result in people finding ways to exploit the resources here. There are no apex predators they're not going to run into contact with, because they will find a way to extract resources from every part of this planet. So presume that these races will either be displaced or removed or negotiated with if they're able to negotiate. But it's probably in the order that I described.
What you're saying makes complete sense.
Are you okay with that?
I don't know if I'm okay with it, I'll be honest.
Good. I smile.
We are going to go drop our Mothman friend off at the dark side of the planet.
Can we do it from orbit? I'm kidding. Anyway.
They looked really sad when I walked by the
Ask me how much I care about that demon in a bottle. Pixie. All right. Just let me know if you need anything.
Quinn, you take off? Or are you waiting for the captain to return to the bridge?
I think I'll just go ahead and take off.
Nice. Mm-hmm. You get started, Captain. On the way back to the bridge, you feel the ship sort of raise up and then begin to prepare to fully take off from the planet's surface. The ship is a little shaky on the way up, just a little hesitation from the engines for a second, and then everything is fine. And then you bank out over the bay, get another look at this space that you landed on. You leave the reasonably bright water and multicolored grasses of the shore behind and hurtle into the atmosphere. So, charting a course to the other side of the planet, to the planet which has been covered in darkness, and also the what you believe is rubble from the destroyed moon, is not terribly hard. Doesn't require a roll, just requires you to sort of point the ship in that direction. You get a really good look at other parts of this planet. Really wide river that sort of runs through a portion of this. You're able to use it as a navigational point to sort of fly along in your work. And then when you get to the more darker portions of the planet. You can watch as the darkness is arriving shortly. Tamarisk, are you going to prepare the moth person for the imminent
Yes.
ejection?
Yes, as best as I can.
Okay.
Uh,
You prepare them calmly. You have to take them to an airlock because there is no other way to get off the ship.
Nope.
You are enveloped by darkness. And in that darkness, you know that you are on the safer side of, well, the light anyway. So hopefully they can sort of float, you think. I'll ask Quinn, are you going to sort of get the Periphery into a holding pattern? Or are you going to keep speed as they leave the ship?
Oh, no, I'll try to hover if I can.
Okay.
At least slow it down to as much as I can, because I do have a heart. I don't want it to just
of
be
course.
sucked out.
Of course. Yeah, so you hover, get a good look at some of the features here. So this is something that is without vegetation at all. It is very dark. Parts of this are still smoking from the impact. And Tamarisk, once you feel the ship come to sort of a hover, you're going to allow them to egress. Okay. You open the hatch with the ability to sort of watch it a little bit. And they, as soon as they feel the rush of wind, they sort of eject themselves out. Just because the ship has stopped does not mean that the air has stopped. That's not how that works. So there are still air currents. So they fly and flutter for a second before getting yanked out of your vision by an air current. Not terribly violently, but violent enough that you miss them like immediately. The last fleeting mental sort of impulse you get is one of elation, a little bit of fear, but the freedom to flap their wings. And I think on that note is where I'm going to call this session to a close. So I want to thank all of my players and the audience here for joining us for Children of the Periphery. And I'm going to let the players certainly go through what they are up to, where we can find them, and things that they have going on. So if we'll just start back through introduction order, please take it away.
Hi, this is Morgan, and I was playing Captain Kasra. Our pronouns are she, her, and you can find me as Jedi Girl on many social media platforms, including Discord. You can find me as, I think, Jedi Gal on stream here. You see me talking in chat. I am usually around on the Discord for the old ways, and I play a variety of characters on there as a cast members. I did, I think, like 4.5 years or 4 years as Lillian Lane on the Master Off the Top. I play Alara on the Adventures in Dragon Pass, along with Tamarisk here, or Mav. And I do a lot of other one-shot type stuff. So, which I'm probably forgetting. I'm sure I've done Shadowrun with Ducky as Cowboy, and anyways. Again, New Year's resolutions, come on over to the Discord and hang out. Like and subscribe on the YouTube page, all that shit. So
awesome. Thanks. Next, Morgan.
Hi, this is Mav. I play Tamarisk and Vari. Our pronouns are they, them. I am the head of Mythos Horror on the Old Ways, where I'm currently running a Trail of Cthulhu campaign called Silver Screams, set in 1930s Hollywood. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. It's quite a bit of fun. And I've got a scenario coming up in the anthology The Year of the Goat, a collection of scenarios celebrating all things Shub. 1930s scenario called To Serve in Heaven. That should be out early 2026. And I've got a couple more scenarios in the pipeline. You can find all of my work so far on Drive-Thru RPG under the name Rena Henze. And I've got a couple more coming out in the very near future that I'm very excited to talk about, but shan't just yet. So
fabulous. Thank you. And next.
Hi, I'm Skip. I've been playing Quinn Keller, the pilot here on the Periphery. I'm That's Commodore Skip on most of the Discords. I currently found on, of course, Periphery. I've also played Agent Burke Atkins on God's Teeth. A little bit more of that coming up. I'm also going to be coming up on a couple of other projects as well, and I'm very happy to say that we've finished part one of season one over on New Dawn on blackcreekpodcast.com, where I play Special Agent in Charge, Garth Black. So go and check that out. If you are into audio dramas and you love the X-Files and Delta Green, it's a great website. Check it out.
Awesome. Last but certainly not least.
Hey, I'm Lecco. I've been playing Sergeant Montgomery Donald Ducky Sinclair, a mechanical strong legionnaire specialist who fuses flesh and steel. I'm also the founder of Retro Games Boutique, a vintage game curation and restoration channel with a shop and regularly scheduled shows on Whatnot at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I've also got an online storefront and a pretty robust Discord community of collectors, traders, and sellers who are passionate about the hobby. You can join us today as I attempt to remove aggressively placed rental stickers from approximately $1,000 of rare vintage games, like Dracula X. This thing is gnarly.
Oof.
A sticker. And Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. And also Tuesday, when I'll be streaming live from a local store in Frederick called Tournament City Games, looking to help sell some of their more premium PS1 games and other merchandise to viewers. So you can use the link in the chat to bookmark the shows. One is tonight, and then the other one is Tuesday. So maybe I'll see some of you there.
Awesome. Well, from all of us to all of you, we hope you have an amazing rest of your Saturday. What we normally do, what we like to do, is raid out to a friend. I don't see anybody up right now, but that's okay, because we can always just make new friends in this way, unless any of the cast have specific people they know that are up and running. If not, what we will do is just say good night and good luck, for that matter. So have a wonderful rest of your holiday month. We will be back after that with some more Children of Periphery, plus more streaming stuff is coming your way from the old ways just shortly. So hang in there and enjoy the rest of 2025 as best you can. Thanks.